Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has said he was prepared to send his military ships in the South China Sea to stake a claim over oil and mineral resources in the disputed part of the strategic waterway. In recent weeks, Manila said it has witnessed much serious belligerence by Chinese vessels in its near 200 miles or 322 kilometers of Exclusive Economic Zone (EEZ). The Philippines government has set up a South China Sea task force. 9 vessels from the Coast Guard and the Fisheries Bureau, a Coast Guard aircraft and police watercraft and rubber boats were being deployed in the South China Sea, including in waters off Philippine-held land in the Spratly Islands, the task force said. It's been confirmed that more ships and aircraft will be deployed to protect the country's maritime territory and resources. The task force added, "We're exhausting all means possible to protect our territory and EEZ." In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the Philippines is taking on China in the South China Sea region. Let's get into the details. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. China claims most of the South China Sea. It's said that it has indisputable sovereignty over the area. Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan have disputed these claims. The route is significant as about $5 trillion in trade through shipping passes each year. Countries like the US, Japan, India, and Australia have no claims in the area and want freedom of navigation as per international maritime laws. China has tried imposing a unilateral decision as per which all ships and aircraft navigating in the area need to identify themselves to the Chinese Navy. In 2013, the Philippines government, led by then-President Benigno Aquino III, brought an arbitration case against China in the Permanent Court of Arbitration. On the 12th of July 2016, the tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines. The landmark decision rejected China's assertion that it enjoys historic rights over a huge area of the South China Sea encompassed by a 9-dash line. China had argued that the tribunal had no jurisdiction in the matter and rejected the decision. But by the time the judgment was delivered, Rodrigo Duterte had become the new president and declared that he had no intention of taking any steps based on the judgment. He had openly favored aligning internationally with China and Russia, despite the existence of a long-standing treaty of friendship with the United States. The latest stance of harder approach by Mr. Duterte seems to have come due to relentless domestic criticism and continued Chinese provocations that seem to have left very little legroom for him. Philippine foreign policy experts and lawmakers have asked President Rodrigo Duterte to end his policy of subservience towards China, saying the Filipino leader's silence is leading to hundreds of Chinese vessels lining up in Manila's exclusive economic zone in the South China Sea. Opposition Senator Leila de Lima recently stated that the country could become just another one of China's satellites if Duterte and the Philippines military fail to confront Beijing. She also said that despite the U.S.'s support regarding Manila's position in the South China Sea, the Filipino president's policy of groveling before China could damage the integrity of the country's territory. Several actions suggest the country is shifting its position and is looking to stand up to China. 1. For 5 years, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has vowed to terminate the agreement that allows U.S. troops a presence in the Philippines. But he seems to have backed down on plans to cancel the long-standing agreement. 2. The Philippine Navy is hiring maritime militia forces. The idea is to deploy them for patrol and protect its fishermen in the South China Sea from intruding Chinese forces. Philippine Navy Chief Vice Admiral Giovanni Carlo Bacordo told reporters recently that it's planning to send over 200 militiamen to the disputed waters. Bacordo said at the hearing, "Aside from data gathering, they'll also be protecting our fishermen as they go fishing in our exclusive economic zone." Bacordo further added, "These are our counterparts for Chinese maritime militia." 3. Recently, the Philippines sent 4 warships to prevent a potential Chinese takeover of the Whitsun Reef. The warships included Manila's 2 brand-new missile corvettes, Jose Rizal and Antonio Luna. The operation was coordinated with the U.S., which had sent the USS Theodore Roosevelt supercarrier CVN-71 and USS Makin Island LHD-8 Wasp-class amphibious assault ship, along with their combined air wings and escorting cruisers, destroyers, and submarines. A new Chinese law has come into effect recently which allows the Chinese Coast Guard, or CCG, to use weapons against foreign ships that it sees as illegally entering its waters. With this law, China's Coast Guard could use water cannons, handcuffs, and tear gas, although the use of more lethal weapons is not explicitly ruled out. Notably, China has reorganized its Coast Guard in recent years. The CCG has been transformed into a military-like organization under the centralized command of the Chinese Communist Party Central Committee and Central Military Commission. This is similar to the People's Liberation Army (PLA). Also, the U.S. Department of Defense report of 2020 indicates that China has more than doubled the number of large Coast Guard ships over 1,000 tons from about 60 in 2010 to over 130. The new law and Chinese bid to take over Whitsun Reef seem to have galvanized the nation into taking a harder stance against China. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.